Brought in an expert right here, a metal building expert, and state your status.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are here at the original Goonzquad garage, but today we're actually not going to work here because we are heading to the commercial property. And honestly, that's the next most important thing on our agenda right now. I know we got the 67 Camaro and we got the TRX build, but we are waiting on a few major key components before we can actually get that stuff knocked out. So what we're going to do is head to the property with this setup right here, the F450, the flatbed, the skid steer right there, mulcher head attachment, bucket, and forks, because we want to do a lot of cleanup and just start sorting out the metal building supplies, because we are about to make a huge decision, one of the biggest decisions ever. And honestly, I think this is something that's just going to be a game changer, and I think it's going to be our biggest project yet, dude.
Dude, I'm down because this is going to be super epic, and honestly, we just got to get rolling with this metal building project and get it done.
Yeah,
dude.
we'll give you guys a little bit more details here in a little bit, but what we want to do is go ahead and let Pops take this setup that way. You're going to take the cop car, and I'm going to be driving Big Bertha that way, dude.
We'll probably catch you in about an hour or so.
Yeah,
dude.
It'll take me about an hour to get there, but you know what? We got to have that sucker out there. That's going to be lifting some heavy stuff, but I don't think we're actually going to drive that right now, but we will eventually get that stuff out there. But first thing I think we should do is just go ahead and head that way with this setup and the cop car for now, and then just start getting some work done, and then we'll do a little bit explaining here in a little bit.
Guys, so it is the next day here, and the other day, first thing we did was actually cleaned up the cop car because that thing was a little filthy. We wanted to bring it out here because we're going to be running around here and there running some errands. But the big decision that we made the other day was actually that we're going to be building this building ourselves, dude.
That is right. This is going to be the biggest project of all times, because just by looking at these papers right here, dude, there's just so much going on. Dimensions, measurements, mathematics, and all that stuff. So we ended up actually bringing somebody else in.
We brought in an expert right here, a metal building expert, and state your status.
That's right. Definitely know what I'm doing, and charge good price.
Good price. He's really cheap. How much is he going to be?
I think off of Craigslist is at to 25 cents a minute or something like that, which is pretty expensive.
25 cents an hour.
Oh,
dude.
so that's why we hired him, dude.
Yeah.
That's right. But also we ended up actually cleaning up that whole entire property over there, because we're going to be checking our building material list, making sure we're not missing anything.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff stacked up behind that trailer, just all the beams and stuff like that. And today is a big thing, which we have to do is actually mark everything off the list, because if we are missing like a beam or something, we're gonna have to order it as soon as possible, because stuff is kind of backed up right now.
Dude,
you know?
It is super backed up, and I already contacted MBMI, and I let them know that we're actually gonna be putting this up ourselves, and they're pretty all for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're all for it. If we work on cars, they said this should be pretty simple for the most part. I mean, this right here has everything that you need. You got all the dimensions, everything. I mean, this is the anchor bolt plan right here, and that's exactly what we're gonna get started with, is actually putting the anchor bolts in the floor today.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a little bit of a different method, we're actually gonna be drilling and using epoxy to get those suckers in there for good.
Yeah.
Most people will do it while the concrete guys are out here and they'll just place it in the fresh concrete, but we're gonna go a different route here.
Yeah, we're gonna go a different route, and I believe this route is actually gonna be more accurate, you know, because
I think so too.
We're gonna be doing measurements. I mean, it tells you right here 58 by 1. I mean, it has everything that you need. They're 4 inches apart, and you know, it's just pretty simple for the most part. I think this will be a lot simpler than working on a car, honestly.
Dude, I think so too. So this is some super exciting stuff. This is gonna be pretty epic right here, but you know what? I think we're gonna get this knocked out. And another reason why we decided to do this is because the guys that we did contact, they are super backed up as well. We're talking months, dude.
Months. I mean, we're done waiting for this building to go up. We just want it up as soon as possible. And on top of that, we're gonna save a ton of money because this is gonna cost for somebody to put this up, what, like 30,000 or
30
something?
to up to 40 to 45 grand, dude. That's expensive right there,
I mean,
dude.
all that money that we saved could go inside this shop. I mean, we can have a lot of awesome stuff in
Yes,
here,
sir, dude. What do you think about it, Pops? You think this is a good idea?
You know, it's a good idea now, but you save it a lot of money, you know.
That's right. And we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn something
And learn and everything, yeah.
pretty awesome right here.
Squad
Dude.
metal buildings coming soon, dude.
You
Yeah.
never know. But right now, what are we gonna do?
Right now, we're actually gonna hop in probably the Raptor over there and run to a few stores, collect some anchor bolts, some epoxy, and a few other supplies, and come back and just get straight to work. Just a good sandwich right there. Something you'd have at a park or something.
Alrighty guys, so after running around town and gathering all of our supplies, we came back with our anchor bolts right here, a couple special bits for the concrete, and of course we got some epoxy and a few other things here and there. But as soon as we got back, we did a bunch of measuring. That was pretty confusing, but we were going off the plans and we got it figured out, and I think we got this main center section. So that's what we're starting with, the center section, the main beams. This is where the piers are, and we got this sucker perfectly squared. We measured the crosshairs, we measured all the measurements, and we found the perfect place for these anchor bolts. And look at this, this is our anchor bolts right here, but we got to cut these suckers down. So we're gonna cut these to about 10 inches. That way it goes 8 inches down into there. We're gonna epoxy them, and then they're supposed to protrude about 2 inches. That way you can bolt these main beams down.
Yeah.
It's some exciting stuff.
It's
right
really
here, man.
exciting figuring all this stuff out, and I mean, we're getting it down right now. So the main beams is what you start off with. They're in the center, and then after that, it should be pretty simple, you know?
Exactly, and we were watching videos before we started this, so we got a little idea, and that's exactly what they want you to start with, the center. You square it off. That's the most important thing, so that's where we're at right now. And then the end walls and all that stuff should be pretty easy, But dude, this is awesome. We're going off the plan, so I think that's pretty like cool right there, because who would have thought we would actually build something going off of plans, dude? We never use plans.
I know, man. I guess this is what construction is all about right here. But we're about to have, or hopefully by the end of today, we'll have some beams standing up, dude.
That would be super awesome right there. That's the goal for today. But right now, what we're gonna do is go ahead and epoxy these suckers in. We're gonna go ahead and try to get these suckers as straight as possible. That's why we got this right here, because we want those main beams to slip over this perfectly. If they're a little bit slanted, it's gonna cause problems. So I think we'll get it knocked out.
Yeah, we should be fine, dude.
It's awesome out here today. It's just a little bit hot. I mean, it's like perfect weather. It's just there's not a cloud in the sky. So we're gonna turn into lobsters by the end of the day. But you know what? I think it'll be totally worth it. And our Craigslist guy, he's just a ton of help, dude. he's just a ton of help. He's been drilling, so that's been kind of tough alone, just drilling these holes super deep. But you know what? We're moving right along. So right now, let's go ahead and get all these bolts epoxied in, and then we're gonna move over to our pile over there and try to find our main beams and hopefully pop one of these suckers up, either using that machine over there or maybe even bringing the excavator or Big Bertha. We'll figure all this stuff out a little bit later.
right, boys, so on to the next step. As you can tell, we got 4 posts up and this thing is starting to come together right before our very eyes. First off, we epoxied the studs or the anchor bolts in the ground, which that stuff dried in like 30 minutes, and then we were right to it, dude. Brung in the excavator because the skid steer couldn't lift high enough, and we got our first post up, and then after that, the rest were pretty simple, dude.
That was so awesome right there. We did have to move pretty quick with the epoxy because we kind of overfilled it.
Yeah.
And it just dried up so quick within like a minute, but it cured within 30 minutes. So that was pretty wild just right there.
Dude, that's awesome though. That epoxy, the way it dries is perfect because you can get a building up as soon as possible with that kind of stuff. But the next step is these big frame sections right here that are gonna be at the very top, and it's just gonna connect all this together. And once we connect the 2 pieces together, we're gonna bolt them up in the center, and then hopefully we can raise it up with the excavator to the top. That way we can bolt the ends up, and after that, dude, it's all game over, dude.
I think this is probably the easiest stuff. I'm hearing that the skeleton of the building is the easiest, and then like the sheet panels or the sheet sides or the walls, whatever, and the roof, that's gonna be the most difficult stuff right there.
Which is crazy because in my way, I feel like that's gonna be the easier part, but who knows, dude?
Because the reason why I think it's gonna be so difficult is because there's a bunch of screws, self-tapping screws.
Dude, there's like thousands of self-tappers. It's probably not gonna be the hardest. It's probably gonna be the most time-consuming.
Most time-consuming, yeah. But dude, this is awesome, man. I can't even believe we made it this far right here, and we want to keep on going. The sun, we got about what, like 2 more hours of sunlight right there, dude?
Yeah, it looks like 2 more hours of sunlight before it start ducking over that hill over there. But I say we probably just keep going with this maybe, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna end up having to drive the skid or the excavator or the skid steer on this pad right here, so it's gonna get really scuffed up right now.
It's just gonna be black tire marks everywhere. It's always gonna happen. Even if you had like the tire lift that they usually use in this stuff, it's still gonna do it. But we're gonna try to do minimal turns on here,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, it really doesn't matter because I think in the end we're gonna end up scuffing this stuff all down, buffing it down, and doing an epoxy on the floor.
Or may just do like a epoxy
polish
paint, like a whole different color paint, you know?
that'd
like
be
change
nice.
it up, like maybe a gray or something.
Dude,
That'd look good, dude.
That would look really good right there. But we might even have to bring in Big Bertha because the peak of this building right here is like 21 feet right there.
Yeah.
That's like, I think 17 if I'm not mistaken.
So it just gets really tall, dude.
It's gonna start getting really tall, but you know what? We're gonna try to do what we can with the excavator and the skid steer.
Yep.
And maybe we'll bring in Big Bertha if we have time.
Yeah, if we have time. But as of right now, I mean, we're probably gonna go over there in the back, find our middle section, frame sections, bring them out here, start piecing those suckers together, and maybe even hoist it up.
Next day here, and we ended up actually calling a quit yesterday because the excavator would not reach above 21 feet and we need like at least 25 feet. So this morning we went ahead and picked up Big Bertha over there, and I think that sucker can lift up to 30 feet, so it'll be perfect. The only thing with the Big Bertha is it actually leaks a bunch of hydraulic fluid. We definitely got to get that fixed. We'll probably take care of that some other time. But what we thought of is actually grabbing some tarp with us. We're gonna throw it on this pad. That way we don't stain anything. So all we're gonna do right now is probably go ahead and put these two peaks together. What do you call those? Peaks or support beams or frames? What do you call
I think you
them
just
right
call everything frames, but
Frames.
you know what? We just got to bolt the center together, and then Big Bertha should just lift it all the way to the top. I think that's what our Craigslist contractor said or something like that.
Well, I don't know. Oh, he's here this morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he stayed out here all night. So he was just like taking care of this place at night. But he's there. He's gonna help us, and we're gonna get some stuff knocked out. So let's just go ahead, take Big Bertha off the trailer, and keep on moving. Shoot, son, man, this thing looking massive.
massive, man.
This thing is tall. Look how tall it is right there. And I gotta say, that beam right there was super sketchy, especially when we didn't throw those support beams or those cross beams right there. It was like wavy, dude.
Dude, that
Super
thing was
sketchy.
wobbling and stuff. And I mean, that's just part of it, man. You live and you learn, man. And we are learning a bunch, man.
Exactly, and we still got a lot more to learn. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna find a good stopping point because we noticed this is getting a little bit more sketchier and sketchier with the excavator. We definitely gotta probably rent a scissor lift, or maybe just go ahead and buy a scissor lift. Those suckers are like, what, 10 grand or something like
Who
that?
the heck even sells those things, man?
I don't know, man. It would be nice to either get a used one or a brand new one because, I mean, that would make it so much easier to just
I think it's recommended, honestly, to have one of those.
100%, dude. But this forklift right here doing the job right there. It goes way up there, so that's perfect right there. We were gonna throw the other beam across, the little peak beam or whatever you want to call it, but I think we're just gonna find a good stopping point right here and just do a little bit more research before we get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
basically.
we want to do a little bit more research and ask around a few more people and just go from there because, I mean, right off the bat, man, just this beam alone, man, that is just amazing progress because we were just like thinking about it, like, yeah, nah, I don't think we should do it. It's probably going to be too difficult, too complex, but dude, we made it, man.
We made it here. I think this is like the most difficult stuff, like these big old beams right here. The rest of this stuff, it should be a little bit more simpler, but you know what? This is just a time-consuming process, a super awesome project. I gotta say, let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys are what's going on in your guys' minds right now. Drop that in the comment section. Are we crazy or are you guys crazy? I think we're all crazy.
We're all crazy
We're all a little
once
bit
in a
crazy.
while, dude.
Dude, Craigslist guy, I think he's here to stay, dude.
I know. I seen he was wearing a Goonzquad shirt now, man.
what
That's
I'm
crazy,
saying,
dude.
Look at him carrying bolts and stuff. Do a wave over there. Look, that's him over there. Man.
Always hiding, man.
Dude, he's something else, dude. But I think he's gonna stick
Hey,
around.
he
for
helped
little
out
bit.
a lot though on this, on the measurements and stuff like that, and getting this building squared off, dude.
This is awesome. This is some super amazing progress that we're making. We're just moving right along. But you know what? That's gonna be all for today's video. Definitely make sure your post notifications are on so you don't miss out on anything. Because I don't know if we're gonna jump onto the TRX or the '67 Camaro. I say we just stick on this, get this sucker completely built. That way we could have a whole entire setup here and just be rocking and rolling out here, dude.
You got that right,
It's
man.
gonna be super wild, but definitely make sure your post notifications are on. Did I just say that?
Say it twice,
again.
dude.
Say it again, so you don't miss out on anything. And also, if you want an inside scoop before YouTube, definitely give us a follow on Instagram at Goonzquad. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Be sure to drop your comments and thoughts down below. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.